I want to welcome Agile XRM to the podcast. I've known the people at Agile XRM for the past 12 years. I've seen how their business process management tool can add massive value to complex organizational processes in sectors such as finance and government. If you have complex processes or a need for dialogues on the Power Platform or Dynamics 365, take a look at how this BPM tool can add value. You can find them at agilexrm.com or check out the show notes for more details. Welcome to the MVP Show. Before we chat with today's guest, have you heard about the 90-day mentoring challenge and you want to get involved? Take your career to the next level for free. Check out AKO or arcor.nz365guy.com and check it out. See if you're interested. Now let's get on with the show. Today's guest is from Melbourne, Australia. He is a Dynamics 365 and Power Platform consultant at Sohoff Pty, and I'll get him to tell you a bit about the backstory there. He leads and organizes community events under the Melbourne D365 and Power Platform user groups, as well as the Pakistan user group. So, covering a broad region there. He's a husband, a father, a traveler, and also likes to skate and listen to music, instrumental, rhubarb. I don't know what this is, so we'll find out. He's a migrant into Australia from Pakistan 12 years ago. You can follow him on Twitter at Yawer Iqbal or his blog, yaweriqbal.com. Welcome to the show, Yawer.
Thank you so much, Mark. Really appreciate and excited. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure for me.
So tell us a bit about the company name, first of all. What does that mean?
Mark, that is sohoff.com. Basically, sohoff.com is my domain, but Sohoff Pty Limited. Years back in Pakistan, when I was trying to start working as an offshore company, with IT companies, that's a continuous problem, like finding a branding name. That's a big challenge. And luckily I found Sohoff. That is, if I'm correct, that is a German word, and it means software farming, similar to agriculture farm. So basically software farming.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. And tell me about the instrumental music you like.
Yeah, and I'm really surprised how you get to know about rhubarb. I think
I research.
Yeah, that's great. Rhubarb is a musical instrument, and its origin is somewhere in Pakistan or Afghanistan. But that's really nice. Its tune, it is similar to, if I can show the closest, would be maybe a violin. But it's made of wood and goat skin. And it's really nice. I will send you some track just to see.
Nice. Yeah, do that. And we might even, if there's a hyperlink, we can put that in the show notes so folks can check it out as well. Tell us a bit about family, food, and fun. What do they mean to you? How do you kind of, make sure you balance working and, enjoying life, Melbourne is known as a great foodie city. And of course, you've got your lovely family with you as well. So tell us a bit about those things.
Thanks, Mark. Family for me, I'm living with my wife and 3 kids. And by chance, all 3, they are boys. And I can tell you usually people consider having boys is something very good. But I can tell you that's really, they are naughty, and all the time it's hard to, so yeah, we are living here in Melbourne since last 12 years, and my wife, she's a housewife. She's supportive. Previously, she was working as a teacher, but since being a housemaker is in itself is a big thing and very demanding as well. So thanks to her, she's looking, and actually she's someone who helps me in doing many things. I got time for my job, for community work, and of course, Mark, family is really one of the most important things for me. And you are right about food in Melbourne. We have a good variety, and we usually go for sometime for Chinese and someone for Turkish. These are so far we are found.
Yeah, Turkish is definitely one of my favorites when it comes to food. In fact, I just had baklava last night
Wow.
for dinner. So yeah, it's definitely something I enjoy. Tell me a bit about how you not only got into IT, but how you migrated to Australia. Tell me a bit about that journey for you.
Mark, being in living previously, I was living in Pakistan, and there I started my career as a .NET developer. And soon after starting my career, I think after 4 or 5 years, I started working as a offshore developer for a US based client. And so from the beginning, I got a chance to work for offshore companies and for companies mostly in West. And being there for me, like, opportunities were a little limited, and the reason was, unfortunately, I don't have a very remarkable branding degree which can which can sell me. So I mean, that was the main problem, and I was looking somewhere some to join a society or go somewhere where being my passionate, being my skilled, those things can be recognized. So luckily, I got a chance to come to Australia as a skilled migrant, and that's how I moved here.
So, you had a lot of countries to choose from. Well, I see a lot of skilled migrants consider, for example, the US as their first choice, and then maybe Europe and Australia's kind of bottom of the list. But I've seen a lot of people migrate into Australia. Why is Australia such an awesome place to migrate to?
Mark, that is really a great country. People, atmosphere, nature-wise, many things to visit. So these were overall things which were basically factor for me. But to tell you truth, my first priority was, I was looking to move to Canada, and I just applied for skill migration. And while my application was being processed, I came to know Department of Immigration Canada, they changed their policies, and for the scheme where I was applying, so they decided to stop further immigration. And just that time, I thought, okay, let's see. Since if I was thinking that might be just a temporary thing, so I thought let's go to somewhere else and apply and see and spend some time there. But that is how I'm here now. I'm citizen living here since last 12 years. So we call it home. We love living here. That is a beautiful country and beautiful people here.
Well, so good, so good. Tell me some of the highlights of living in Australia.
Of course, beach life. For me, beach life being a multicultural country, and people are welcoming in terms of, I have been living here in Melbourne and spent some time in Sydney. So these are quite multicultural cities, and people understand. So these, I mean, have being tolerant to each other. These are really a few valuable things, and I mean, these things help society grow, and understanding people. Particularly, I mean, uh, uh, my next door neighbor may be someone from a different country, and that's how, I mean, we can interact, we can know about different people, different languages, different cultures, and as a human, we can understand and learn to live together peacefully. So I value these things.
I like it. Tell me your journey into Microsoft business applications.
That is really interesting thing to tell and share, Mark. Uh, as I said, I was initially a .NET developer, but since in development, a lot of things were happening, and I was a little fed up. I mean, I was still looking to keep doing development, but new developments would keep coming. And since I was a contractor, And problem with contractor was with every project, there are a lot of new things to learn and catch up. Maybe next project may be asking for a totally different set of technologies. So I started looking in my career how I can replan or rearrange things. So there were two things. In my previous experience, I had been working in call centers and marketing organizations and sales departments. So I thought now I have two things. On one side, I have worked in organizations which are doing things like sales or sales support, these sort of things. And on other hand, I have IT experience. So I thought, that was an area that would be really excellent for me. And that was just a sort of matter of joining dots. And you will be, and I mean, I'm not sure if I have told you before, but you was one of those people who really inspired me and helped me in adopting this career. Um, and Mark, that time I just started looking how I can join, how I can become a Dynamics 365. That time we used to call it Dynamics, a Dynamics professional. And by chance I found one of your blog posts that was telling someone new they should do some certifications, and I think that was referring, I think that was 715, that time 715 and 716. And I thought that's it, and I did two certifications. And luckily sooner after that I got a chance to work in a project that was integration work. So I was still doing .NET, but that was integration with CRM. That time we used to call it CRM. So that was a start. And after that I have never turned and looked back, and I'm happy and keep going still.
So good, so good. Tell me a bit about how your MVP journey, and then once you've talked a bit about that, what's different now that you're an MVP? So let's start with your journey first of all.
Yeah. Mark, so first of all, I want to mention I was nominated by Stefano Tempesta here. And that was another thing where your videos also helped. And since I was a graduate, I graduated from 90 days mentoring challenge. So we had some conversation, and being involved in community, that was always something for me. Even in 2009 when I was a .NET developer, even that time I was doing some blogging and some answering questions on ASP.NET forums. Even that time I was involved, but it was not that extensive. But later I discovered and learned like that is a good way of keep learning new things and contributing back. I mean, if I turn back and see in my life, there are many people who have contributed in my life without any interest. I mean, that was just their goodness, like they were contributing to other people's life. So for me, that is basically same tradition. I want to pay back to the people, and also it is helping me in career. Like I am learning new things and sharing with community. It just gives passion and strength of keep going.
Mm-hmm.
And
I like it.
Yeah.
So good, so good. Tell me, so you got nominated, you become an MVP. What was that first experience when you start getting access to the Microsoft product team, to resources, to the whole MVP community, and what we call the MVP family? Tell us a bit about that feeling.
Mark, I just on lighter side, I will say it was similar to when someone get married.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And I mean, very excited, and many good things just became a part of larger group of people where people can interact, they can support you, you can support them. And of course, having people where you can interact within Microsoft, that in itself is great. And I can tell people and community like it brings some opportunities as well. I will share two things. Just immediately after, since we know like market is good and Many times people are looking for resources, but with me it never happened. What I'm going to tell. One of the company, their CEO approached me and they introduced and said if I'm looking to join, they just provided that is my email ID. Please connect with me. I mean, for me that was a good experience. And another thing was, I'm not saying I'm afraid of being into interviews, but I experienced in a situation, they just said, "That's understood. Leave these things on side. Let's just discuss what this project is." So, what I'm trying to tell is, community recognize important of being an MVP, and this is because MVPs can contribute and bring really good to projects because they have insights about what is coming next. They are passionate, they have links, and with these things they can bring more value to projects, teams, and partners. So that is really something good, and I will encourage anyone who is working in community, though it should not be an end goal to become a MVP. And rather, I will like to share here a tip. If someone is looking to become an MVP, just make your intention to help your human fellows, and it will it gives strength to keep doing, that feeling, I'm contributing to people's life, I'm contributing to community. It gives us strength. And I think just having that wish, like I want to become an MVP, it can't give that strength to keep doing, because it is not a short term thing, it is a long journey. And getting recognized and Microsoft awarded. So first of all, I want to encourage people who are in community, keep doing, that's a good thing. And another thing is, just make an intention, like we are doing that for community, and ultimately good will happen, good will come back to you. Sooner or later you will be recognized. And thanks to you as well. You were inspiration for me, Mark.
Thank you. One last thing before we go to quick fire questions. I'm really, I've seen a lot, in across social media, etc., about the Pakistani, let's say, movement, right? Lots happened in Pakistan in the last 12 months within Dynamics 365 and the Power Platform. Tell us a bit about what's changing there and why there's such a great momentum happening.
Mark, there can be another thing. Maybe there might be involvement of government in some Power Platform based projects, but I don't have clarity about it. But another thing is, there are some big IT companies and they are in momentum and they are gaining more business. And also, like people, I am working and many other people, they are recognizing it, and they are trying to pay back to community and develop community there as well. So that's another thing, since we are working here as well, but we know, I know when I started my career there were issues, I was not finding guidance. So I know there is need for guidance to people. So that was another thing. That was another thing when we started Pakistan user group as well. That time as well. That was, since being now with new normal, I think working remotely and doing session or community working remotely, that is norm now. But we have tried to emphasize there and develop people and connect people as well. And I was really surprised. There are a lot of people already there. They're working. We just have tried to connect them.
This is so good. It's so exciting to see, what you're doing and how much you've grown over the last, 4 or 5 years that I've known you. I'm excited to see, what you're going to do next as an MVP. I always like to wrap up with some quick fire questions, of course. What type of question do you not want me to ask you?
I'm not going to tell, Mark. I'm afraid you will ask the same question.
Okay, here's your first one. Have you played Monopoly?
I have played, yes.
Okay, so what's your favorite piece? As in, if you can choose a token to play on Monopoly board, which is your favorite token?
I'm sorry, Mark, I can't remember now that.
There's like a hat, there's a car, those are the ones.
I think there were 4 or 5. I usually take car or I'm sorry, I still not remember a few other, but
Nice. Okay, next one. What's if you could only have 5 apps on your mobile phone, only 5, what apps would you have would you must have on your phone if you could only choose 5?
Mark, one of them will be probably maybe WhatsApp because it is a big way of staying connected.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of app, it has become now a sort of social media. Uh, Next would be probably LinkedIn, and one app I would like to have for scanning images to text, that sort of app. I have found that is really useful. Um, and a couple of more, maybe probably LinkedIn for remaining connected professionally, and of course Outlook.
Yes. Yeah. Good choices. Last question for you. What's what's one country that you have visited that you'd like to go back and visit again?
By chance, I'm still looking to visit many countries, but I have been to Morocco once and went there to attend a conference, and I still wish to go back there once at least.
Wow, I've never been to Morocco, and it's definitely on my list of places to go to.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, Casablanca. Yeah, amazing. Yawer, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you so much, Mark. I'm honored, and it was great to chat with you. Thank you so much.
Hey, thanks for listening. I'm your host, Business Application MVP Mark Smith, otherwise known as the NZ365 guy. If you enjoy the show and you're a regular listener, feel free to head over to buymeacoffee.com/NZ365 guy and leave me a message. That would be great. Thanks again. Stay safe out there and see you next time.